to go ahead and welcome our first guest for tonight. Please make welcome to the stage, Mr. Mike Murphy.
Doing well. How about you?
I don't know. Is my mic on, guys? Are we good? I'm sorry. Well, listen, I know this is something that I've really been kind of waiting on for a while now because I've known you, and I love your personality. Now, a lot of these kids, though, they may have seen you around, but they actually may not know you personally or different things like that. It's a big church. Now, we actually had over 1,500 people this past Sunday, which is great. But now here's the thing, with the more and more people we get, like I said, we get a lot of new people in. This is probably your first time coming and sitting in front of a youthful crowd like this. Maybe even one of the first times you've even been in this room. So I know there's a lot of things that we could probably talk about tonight, but some of the things I wanted to talk about was what we do here on the show. We talk about what it is you do, like your career. And we know you've been in law enforcement, so what I wanted to kind of get you to talk about is some things that led you to make the decision. What led you into law enforcement?
Okay, when I was about 13 years old, I went to Fort Bragg, which is an Army post. And I was in there with my cousin. She was, her husband was in the Air Force, and they were looking for a place to live. And I saw a military policeman down there with the 82nd Airborne, working traffic, and he was really impressive, and I thought, well, I'd really like to try that. So when I went in the Army, I went in the military police, came out of the military police, went in the city police, and got solid black and silver cars flying through town, and I thought, well, if you're going to work for the best, so I went to the Highway Patrol.
That's awesome. So you decided through that to go into the military after you went to the Air Force or the military base, and but one thing that I do know that we talked about this some, you have a picture up here in your uniform with a dog, and I'd be scared to. I mean, I fear the law anyway, but I definitely fear the law with a dog. So what's the dog's name? Tell us a little bit about your partner there.
The partner up there with me is Barry. He's a Dutch Shepherd. He takes all his commands in Dutch, so you had to learn to speak Dutch as well as to talk with the dog.
So you're not going to command the dog unless you speak Dutch?
No.
So if somebody could say stop to the dog and...
The dog doesn't understand you.
Please stop, dog. Please stop. So has that happened before? Has anybody tried to tell the dog to stop when he was coming at him and he means business, right?
Right. When you turn the dog loose, especially if you're going to use him on a bite work, you give him the bite command, and the only thing that stops him is in Dutch.
Right.
So what you say to him doesn't matter to him if you're speaking English.
That's one of those moments where you wish God would bless you with get the tongue so you could command the dog, please stop. Ah! So the dog would ride around with you in the car.
Yes, sir.
Now over lunch, we actually ate lunch several weeks ago, and you were telling me just some stories of Barry. Is it Officer Barry? I mean, is that what you guys would call the dog?
Well, actually, if you assaulted the dog, it's the same as assaulting a police officer.
Right, so he is actually considered an officer.
He is.
So he would ride around with you in the car, and he was very, obviously, I think you said he was very defensive of you.
He was.
So if anybody came between, very close to you, he probably got ready to throw down, I imagine. And it could be real intimidating having that kind of bodyguard around you. But what would you say is, obviously with a dog, I imagine you have several stories that have taken place. Some that have probably just been personal, frustrating. I can't believe the dog did this. But, when it came to actually, work-related, the dog is maybe in pursuit, like maybe you were trying to do something. Did the dog ever, there are TV shows or movies like K9, Turner and Hooch, and different movies like that. Was it ever similar to those kind of movies to where, you're trying to take care of business and the dog kind of seems to be somewhat of a distraction?
That can happen a lot.
Yeah. Now, I also know you were kind of asking, is it okay to say this, that, or the other? what were probably some of the moments that, you know, at the time I'm sure it was kind of frustrating, but you look back on it and you're like, well, I guess it was kind of funny. Give me a scenario.
Well, there were a couple of times that I had Barry, the sheriff's department had called me to do a search on a trailer that they were supposed to be selling illegal narcotics out of this trailer. And it was a young couple, and they had very little, and in the bedroom, all they had was a mattress and a box springs laying on the bed, and they had the quilts and covers over that. The sheriff's department, what they do is they secure the area and they move everybody into the living room. So when they had secured the area, you always let the dog relieve itself. So I thought Barry had relieved himself. So we go in this trailer and we start at the far end, and these people are sitting in the living room, and I'm in their bedroom searching, and I turn around and look, and Barry's up in the middle of the bed. I thought, well, that's okay, it's not a problem. He's probably smelled some marijuana or something. And I start looking through the dresser, and I turn around and look, and Barry's taking a crap in the middle of the bed. And I'm hollering at the dog. In Dutch, you say "nee fooey," which means bad dog. And you're trying to drag him, and he looks like he's smiling at me. And I'm dragging this dog, and it looks like he's spreading black asphalt. And he had loose bowels. And I'm thinking, my God, what am I going to do? I mean, you know. So he relieved himself real well in their bed, and I tried to get it up, but it was real loose.
Did you have to replace any of that stuff, or you're on the...
No, actually what I did, I threw the covers over it. And I left the house. So I can imagine when they went to bed that night, you know, somebody needs to take a bath.
Mike, thanks for being here. We're going to talk to you here again in just a second, but we're going to take a quick break, so we'll be right back, guys.